this is wild. I said, you know, normally the people I'm dealing with, you know, if you're going to kill somebody, you're going to do it with a gun, knife, chainsaw, whatever the means are. So they give me the reports, and I said, let me have all the information. And sometimes when you meet an individual, you have all the information, and sometimes you have nothing. But Richard Kuklinski, we had all the information, which was a plus. So, as I'm reading this format, I have to get approval from Washington, because what they wanted to do is that the federal people are going to decline prosecution, regardless, no matter what it is, because they want Kuklinski on the 5 murders that they believe he committed. So I wrote this article report up, and I sent it to Washington. And don't forget, it's about poisons and ricin and pure cyanide. And Washington called me back and says, "You're kidding me. What kind of, is this true?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, I'm taking verbatim what the actual report says of individuals that he met that disappeared after meeting him, or died either for some type of poisoning or being murdered with guns, bullets, and whatever. So they said, "You better think about this. You really want to do this?" I said, "Yeah, I really want to do this." So they said, "Okay." So Washington gives me approval. Then I go to the United States Attorney's Office in Newark, spoke to them at the time, and they said, "No problem. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to decline prosecution, and all information that you get on Kuklinski will be turned over to the state, with the Attorney General's office that will prosecute it, and they'll prosecute him for the murder. They only want him for the murders, period. They want him off the streets because he was such a violent person." And then I'm reading it, and he lives in Dumont, New Jersey. And I, at the time, lived in Hillsdale. So we were really kind of close, you know, and I'm saying, wow. And at the time, my wife, who now passed away, Ellen, I had 3 children. And, you know, I said, she would always ask me, you know, like, "You never say what you're doing at work." I said, "Listen, I can't come home and say, you know, what's going on." So I said, "Look, Ellen, it's a sensitive case." I said, "Everything's okay. Trust me, everything's good." You know, okay. She took care of the kids and did what she had to do, and I was out bouncing, where this guy was right down the street from me. Really, if you think about it, it's only in Dumont. We could have met anywhere, or you know, passed it across. So I get approval to do the case, and I started hanging out at a store it was called the store in Patterson. And it really reminded me of Goodfellas, if you ever saw the movie. Inside this store was, and they were so smart the way they handled it. Next door to it was a little luncheonette, old-fashioned luncheonette that did the numbers. Here was the store. Upstairs was the little prostitution they had upstairs. In the store, when they hijacked a load, whatever it was, they grabbed this item and they put it on the shelf. And when the bad guys came in, or people would come in and say, "Oh, wow, you know, I can really utilize this pot," or whatever it is that they're selling. "How much is it?" "You know, it's 150. But if you buy quantity, you know, we'll lower the price." And they said, "Fine." And the reason why they would never take their whole load here, because if the cops hit that place, and they only got them with stolen property, it's a misdemeanor. They only have 1 item. Instead of having a whole truckload, they kept that somewhere else. So when you came into the place, you would buy the item, and then work a deal where you would meet to pick up the load.